Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Eli, and today we are going to be talking about solar energy. I'm going to be going over my 1 year review since I've had solar on my roof. We'll go through the kind of the story of how I got solar, what the energy use looks like, and of course, the finances. Talking about how much I've paid this last year and comparing if I would have not had solar versus with solar, and then also looking forward to see, what does the future look like, and ultimately, hopefully, this video will help you decide if you think that solar maybe is something you want to explore also. So, with that, let's get right into it. This house, it was a new construction, and my wife and we moved in, and I was pretty sure I wanted to get solar, but I wanted to kind of test and see. We moved into this house in June of 2021, and in July 2021, only 1 month into this, we signed up for solar. It was kind of a little bit of a risky situation because we didn't have months and months of energy bills to try and figure out how much solar we would need, all of this stuff. But we went, listened to the solar speech from a couple different companies. They sized our system based off of our house, square footage. They went through the whole process, and it wasn't until October, so 3 months later, that we finally got solar installed and solar was activated at the end of October. And it's been a year. So, how does it compare? Basically, it's done great. We have exceeded our electricity needs so far. So, since getting solar, I have not paid for any other electricity here at my house from the grid. So, it's really awesome. The way that Xcel Energy does it is they just have a solar bank rollover credits. So, if you overproduce in 1 month, then those credits just kind of build up. And then if you have a month that it dips a little bit, that you actually are using more than what your solar is generating, you'll actually use in some of those solar credits and it'll even out. So out of the last 12 months, I've only had 4 months that I actually had to dip into those solar credits and I didn't produce enough. So that was in December and January, and then also in July and August. Right, that kind of makes sense. You have way less sun in the winter in December and January, but also your energy usage is lower for electricity because we have natural gas heating here. And then in the summer, July and August, I produced a lot of solar, but I also had my air conditioner running, so it was a lot of energy. But even with those 4 months, right now I have $172.30 of solar credits built up. So I'm going to, maybe in another video, I'll talk about how some strategies I'm going to use that. My solar system, it's a 5.5 kilowatt system. And in the past 12 months, I have produced 8,295 kilowatt hours of electricity from that system. I'll show the month by month breakdown over here so you can kind of see each month where everything was at. So actually my highest generation month was April, and then it was really good throughout the summer, May, June, and July. My highest single day production was on May 25th. I had 38.1 kilowatt hours produced in that one day. So that was generation from the solar panels. Now, as far as use for the house, here's what the month by month breakdown looks like. For the full year, it was 6,668 kilowatt hours produced. You can see the highest uses by far are July and August, just because of how hot it gets and running the AC. All right, so now is a good part where we are going to talk about the finances. How much did this project cost to put solar up there? And then how does it actually work month to month? And what do those finances look like? First up, in order to get the system installed, running, all of that, it was $29,626. That is a large amount of money for sure. We were able to get a solar loan, and if you remember at the time, last summer, interest rates were really low. So we got a 1.99% interest rate, which is really crazy. So the way that these solar loans work is there's a tax credit associated with them. So we were able to get a 26% tax credit on our solar loan. So whatever the total cost of the project is, we're going to get a tax credit back. Now, the way the solar loans work is they give you a good interest rate and they base your payment on you getting that tax credit back and then paying that tax credit amount back towards your loan. So for us, our 26% of our price, it was $7,702. So they let you have 1 year of those first lower payments, and then that way you have a year to file your taxes, get your tax return, and then you're supposed to use that money to pay down the main principal on your solar loan. You don't have to, and if you don't, then that monthly payment will go up some. For us, our currently monthly payment based off of that, it's $94.18. We actually ended up choosing to not take that tax credit and pay down the principal because it's only 1.99%. So with that, our monthly payment next year is going to go up to about $112. How much did we pay in electricity this last year? This is how I like to compare it, right? How much did it cost us with solar versus, let's say we didn't get solar, how much would we have spent in the last 12 months of use? If we would not have gotten solar, we would have spent $945.05. Because we got solar and we paying these monthly payments, plus you have to pay still a small fee for Xcel for being connected to the grid. So it's like $6-7 a month. With that, our solar cost for the year was $1,198. $1,198 versus $945. So we ended up actually paying $253 more for our solar loan this year versus what we would have paid Xcel for just taking electricity off the grid. But because it's solar, there's some special finances and things like that. When we signed up with Ion Solar, they gave us a $1,200 check. Now this $1,200 check is supposed to cover your first payments. So based off of that, we spent $1,198. They gave us $1,200. So we still we were up $1.44. Basically, we haven't paid anything for solar. Then the other part that's a kicker is our tax credit. So like I said, we got $7,702 back as a tax credit because we signed up for solar. We are net positive $7,704 for our solar electricity. For all of our electricity in the last year, we are up $7,704. That's this last year, looking back. Now, what about in the future? What does this look like? Because we're not going to get a $1,200 check anymore. Our payments are going to start going up for our solar loan, and we're obviously not going to get a future tax credit for our solar that's already installed. So how's this going to work? Now, it's impossible to know for sure what the future holds, but with all the information that I have, for the next 10 years, the electricity prices are going to rise somewhere between 4 and 8% per year in this area. I was very conservative with my numbers, and I said, okay, for the next 10 years, I'm going to have the electricity prices theoretically go up by 4%. After the first 10 years, I'm assuming it'll go back to a little bit more normal, about 2% per year. So this last year, if I would have just taken electricity from the grid, it would have been $945. Now just take that number and say, okay, it's going to go up by 4%. I know next year that cost would have been $982. The following year, up 4% again, $1,022. And just kind of goes on like that. So going forward, starting next year, I know that my electricity bill is going to be my $112. That's my solar loan payment plus this Xcel fee. So I'm just calling it $120. I know every month I'm going to owe $120 for electricity. Now, that yearly cost ends up being $1,440 every year. That's what I'm going to pay for electricity until my solar loan is completely paid off in 24 years. This graph shows the annual payments for electricity. The yellow is prices with solar, a steady $1,440 each year for the next 24 years. And the gray is if I would have stayed tied to the grid. You can see right now those payments are a little bit lower, but in about 10, 11 years from now, those prices are matching that $1,440, and then they just continue to rise. This next graph shows the total amount paid. It's a cumulative number, and you can see for this first year, my payment is actually, it's negative because I've received money because of my tax credit. So I'm up $7,705 as time progresses. So it's really in year 7 where I start becoming net negative, where I actually have to pay money for my solar. And then after that, those prices continue to rise at a fairly even rate. And then at 25 years, my solar payments stop and I no longer have to pay. At that point, it'll be about a $10 a month fee just to stay connected to the grid. But the price of electricity is going to continue to climb each and every year. I hope that makes sense. If there's any questions or any more details you want, please put them in the comments and I can try and clarify. If you would like some help going through a solar project about what those costs would look like, a tax rebate, all that kind of information, please let me know. I'd be happy to help out. I'm not associated with any solar company, so I don't really have an incentive there. Just trying to help out and really display what that information could potentially look like. I really do think solar is a great option. Financially, it makes sense right now. And especially wait until next year, because I got a 26% tax credit. Next year, it's going back to a 30%. So for the next 10 years, it's supposed to be at that 30% tax credit. I know interest rates have gone up, so your monthly payments may change a little bit. But if you'd like some help figuring out, okay, how much would it actually cost me? Basically, I can do an analysis like this on your solar project. Let me know, and then I can get you those details. I used Ion Solar. I thought they were great. They made it super simple. Some other people in our neighborhood had a different company, and we kind of were working at the same time. Ours came faster. We had a better app, better tracking, better communication. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, if there's any questions or anything I didn't clarify, please let me know, and I can try and answer your questions below. Thanks a lot.